Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Em and today I'm going to be doing a little vintage doll study. And I hope that you want to draw along with me because I'm going to put the picture there so you can see it so we can all draw together, okay? As usual, I'm using my Holbein color pencils, my little mechanical eraser, and my Royal Talons sketchbook. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, I'm obsessed with this sketchbook and those pencils. This is my preliminary sketch I just did with graphite, and I just wanted to warm up and kind of get a feel for the little doll. I'm obsessed with the little doll. I love it. So I started out by using this orangey kind of pencil. I know the sketch is a little hard to see, but I wanted to really not use like graphite for this because I didn't want it to get all muddied. I had a very specific vision in mind, thinking Chris Hong, using lots of colors, using color pencils. That's the kind of vibe I was going for. So I needed to do the sketch in color pencil, which was, it's always tricky for me to do that, but it is worth it in the end. I way prefer to sketch in graphite all the time just because I like the thought of being able to erase something gives me the confidence I need to go through with it. And using color pencils actually stresses me out to sketch. I've decided. Just this week I've decided that because I really want to do the 100 Heads challenge again. And if you've been watching my videos for a little bit, you know that I've been talking about being in an art block. I've been in one since about like mid-December because I got sick and it's something like it made my brain get foggy, and I really appreciate everybody who had advice on like COVID brain fog because I never had COVID before, and I was really happy to get like the encouragement that it's going to go away. That made me feel a lot better and a lot more relieved, and it's finally is feeling a lot better, so I'm happy about that. So I just really want to get that feeling back that you get when you make something and it's going really well and you're really happy and you feel really good, and then you made something cool, so you're excited about it, and then you go back and look at it and you like it. I'm going to need that feeling to return as soon as humanly possible. So, that being said, the 100 Heads challenge I decided I want to do, even though it pains me to my core. I'm really self-conscious about drawing heads. I'm really self-conscious about my portraits. You can go back and see them. I've done a video on portraits before. I don't know why. I just like don't gravitate towards doing them. It's not really my thing, so I lose like the ability to do them pretty quickly because I kind of get bored and like stop doing them and I don't keep up with it. And I feel that it is really something you have to keep up with. Chris Hong is so good at doing portraits, and I recently bought her new book. And it's all about doing portraits, and it's a gallery book, but she also includes like tips and tricks and how she sort of approaches doing her portraits. So that's really cool. I absolutely love the book. It's so good. So I can't wait to kind of tackle that. I'm nervous and excited at the same time because doing a challenge is always going to be good for your art and help. And I have done the 100 Heads challenge 2 times before. I've completed it, done the full 100 2 times, and I did come out of it really like being enriched. I don't really know what else to say, like how to word what I'm trying to say, but it did help a lot. But also, I think it's good if you're doing a challenge like that where you're drawing quite a bit, right? You're working really hard at drawing the same thing often or drawing every day. I think you have to approach it in a way where possibly you're taking some other type of lesson. So I will be like trying to watch some Proco videos. Like I said, I bought the Chris Hong book because I don't want to repeatedly do my same mistakes 100 times. I want to be learning something new, not just through continuously doing the same thing over and over again. I want to use techniques and learn some new stuff. I hope that makes sense, but I'm going to try my best as I go through the 100 Heads challenge to like tell you what I learned, watch different videos, get some information myself, and then relay it to you in the best way that I can. And kind of hopefully I find some more resources. This is going to be all via Proco probably, and Chris Hong, and possibly Jess Carp as well. I don't know. I don't know yet. We'll see. But yeah, what I was trying to say from the start was that I don't like erasing color pencil. Even color erase pencils are they do leave something behind. So I do like graphite, but my whole point of saying that was that I already started doing the 100 heads challenge. I started filming it. I've done 3 heads. It's tough, I tell you. So, yeah, but my whole thing also that I was thinking with this challenge, by the way, I'm talking so much about it because I'm just like, it's really on my mind right now. And I'm still working on figuring out all the details and sort of how I want to go about it because I really want to do it right this time. It's that I wanted to kind of do like 10 heads at a time in different videos, sort of thing, maybe more, maybe less, I don't know, depending on what the medium is I use. But I was thinking maybe one day I do like in gouache, and maybe one day I could do them in watercolor. I hate watercolor, but I really want to do a challenge and try something new to like jumpstart my brain and creativity again. And maybe one day in color pencil and more like what I'm doing right here with the doll. So that's kind of my idea. And I was so discouraged after doing these 3 last heads. I'll tell you what, I was like, I'm not doing it anymore. But no, I'm going to stick with it because it is really, really helpful. And if something scares me, I find art wise like that, it is definitely something I should do. Unfortunately, if I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it, whatever, what's the point? Like, I'm trying to convince myself out of it. Yeah, I don't do them very often in my art, but I think it will be very, very helpful for me to do them just because, like, the type of thinking that you have to do to make heads is a pretty useful thought process, and it really like gets you into the mode. And I also want to get back into figure studies that I haven't done in forever, and my figure studies are looking atrocious, by the way. So that's got to change. I really want to be able to do everything and not have to worry about anything at all so that I can do whatever I want. If I want to tackle something, I can do that without a problem. And that's, I think, how you get there from what I can tell. I'm just doing like what I'm guessing is the best thing to do. Sorry, I don't know if any of that made sense, but there you go. I hope you liked my rant. So let me get back to this little doll. So I did a nice wash, very light of marker, just of the yellow dress and kind of the skin color, I guess. But I wanted to sort of cover everything with that grayish yellow just to kind of, unify everything. I know I say that all the time. And then I figured I'd go in mostly with color pencil because I really wanted to do kind of like a rainbowy sort of effect and show a lot of different colors in here. So I didn't want to do too much, and it's also kind of tiny, so I didn't want to do too much work with the marker. And I know that like it doesn't look exactly like the picture, but I'm still really proud of how it turned out. If you see at the end, I think it's so cute. I really, really had a good time doing it. I can't wait to do more. I've sort of saved a lot of these little, what do you call those things? Like tchotchkes, I guess. Little dolls, little porcelain items, and little things that I wish I could have in my house, but they're hard to come by. And I have them on my Pinterest page. So if you want some drawing references, I always have like a lot of references that I just like to save. I don't like necessarily do anything with them right away, but I do like to, as a hobby basically right now, put them up on my Pinterest as just inspo and some little still life or whatever. I'm not sure if you'd call that still life. Oh, didn't let myself didn't let myself do it. Did you like in the last video where I put Glenn Powell? But yeah, I've saved a lot of these little types of items on Pinterest so that anybody can use them if you want, and also for reference for myself. Duh. But I find them like really, really fun to draw and super inspiring. So, that being said, let's move on to the thing I've been watching this week. I've been watching The Pit. Has anyone watched The Pit? Holy that's a good show. I am like reeling from that show. I saw it and immediately became obsessed with it. Usually I cannot watch medical shows because it'll send me into a anxiety induced spiral that it's very difficult and could take many years for me to get out of, similar to when I watched House for the first time. But this show is different because I don't know, it's really it moves really fast. It's in an ER, so it's more like emergency situations. It's not really like House was like this person is sick with some sort of mystery thing. Let's figure it out. And I would always like imagine that I would have that whatever thing was wrong. And but this one is like more of immediate things that they can fix. So I don't have that same feeling, but so that's why I can watch this show. But yeah, it's I just find it's really really good. I don't know anything really about it. I just kind of started watching it and I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy." So, there you go. Also, I know everybody's probably seen it, but like The Last of Us, just started watching it this week. The reason why it took me so long to watch The Last of Us is because it's really sad. Like a lot of really sad things happen in it, and I was not there. I wasn't able to watch it because I watched the first episode, I think like whenever it first came out, and it made me really really upset, and I was like, no, I actually can't continue. But since then, I decided to give it another go because I was like, no, now I've had some time, I can watch it. And I didn't take it as seriously this time because it's not real life. And also, it's a really well done show. So, while still being really, really sad, but like the acting is really good. So I just try to think, like, okay, don't worry about, like, there's not going to be a mushroom induced zombie apocalypse. It's okay, you know? My favorite part I found about doing this drawing was doing the really high contrast parts, like the really little tiny bits of dark with my most favorite color, raisin. I went in where, you know, where the eyelids are, a little tiny bit of shadows around the dress and the little shorts and stuff. I find that doing those really dark, tiny shadows make the whole drawing, and they're so fun to add as a detail at the end. And I love this light blue as a bounce light color as well. I have to remember to keep using it because it worked out really well. And usually I just use ice blue, but I need to broaden my range, so to speak. And for the dress, I was excited to use all these different kinds of yellows, cool yellows and warm yellows combined to try to make all the shadows and different colors that were going on because the light is hitting the doll in such an interesting way that there actually is a lot of colors even in the photo that I was seeing. So I used a combination of like sort of almost orangey. I used this lemon color, which I think I just got and I really really like. It's a very cool yellow and I added that onto just where the shine kind of was, and I felt that that really brightened everything up on top of where I put the really dark shadows with the burgundy and raisin colors and also a teensy bit of like orangey yellow. And yeah, all those colors combined, I think it looks really cool, and I was really happy to practice that because I don't kind of do yellow stuff that often. You don't really get an opportunity to do that much yellow in this type of way. So it was just a really interesting figure to kind of study and to work on. It was definitely a really good practice. Even if you don't want to do all of the different colors and you just want to do it in pencil, like in graphite or something, or one color, that would still be a really good study, I think, because of the shapes are really interesting and easy to read. I felt that they were easy-ish to read, so pretty good starting. And normally I wouldn't do a whole figure, I'd just do the head, but I felt that I could tackle it, so that's kind of saying something. I don't know, maybe you want to do it along with me, hopefully. So then for the background, I didn't want to leave this little doll just by themselves like this. So I just felt the need to do a little bit of a background. Seems to be that it's leaning up against a wall or something. So I just sort of decided to make a kind of rainbowy effect with the different color pencils, just whatever I felt I wanted to put down. I didn't want to spend too much time on it, but I wanted to add a little bit in the neon orange to the outline there and yeah, just kind of give the effect of what I was seeing, but make it a little more rainbowy, I guess. I don't know. I just didn't want to leave it alone on the page, really. And then I decided to take my eraser and do a couple lines in there to add a bit of like textury stuff. And I used this light green kind of color to go over top of whatever was left behind by that eraser, the empty spaces. And yeah, so just kind of did some shadows, signed my name, and put the date because I want it to be known. I kind of want to start to track my progress here. If I'm going to get really into studying stuff, I might as well do that. And here is the finished result. I love this little doll. It was so fun to study. I hope you want to study it too, or at least do art and have fun. And I'll see you next week. Okay, bye.